We're going to be talking about the next up-and-coming Gen Z pop star who's being called the next main pop girly, Tate McCrae. She is 21 years old, and she actually just released her newest album, So Close to What. And I have noticed a lot of discourse about her circulating on the timeline, mostly people accusing her of being an industry plant. And it is such a moving target how you define industry plant these days. What we've come to realize, I think, is that all of these people are industry plants, and people just weren't aware of that fact until more recently.
Well, yeah, like because given the industry, right, they have to have some level of approval to be allowed to succeed. Like, you don't get spots at live events. You don't get to have your big concerts at big venues unless the label considers you a marketable person. So in that way, everyone that isn't an independent artist is an industry plant. Or is the idea here that by plant, you mean that they're planted there to push forward some type of specific agenda that is not being necessarily pushed forward heavily by other artists? In which case I would say, what the hell is Tate McCrae, who is just kind of a generic pop star pushing that is so crazy that would require plant status?
Yeah, it's funny. It's kind of ironic that the people who come off the Disney pipeline are less likely to get accused of being industry plants, when that is by definition what they are. Sabrina Carpenter, hello, former Disney kid.
I guess when I think of industry plant, I think of the term being something that you attribute to somebody who just showed up, like where it feels like they just showed up one day, whereas Disney stars have been in the public eye for an extended period of time. But an industry organic plant is like, why is it that one day I turned on the radio or opened a web browser and every article was about this person?
Yeah, we've talked about this in regard to Chappell Roan. For my own sanity, I have written down a list of, I think, all of the Gen Z pop stars
that are considered industry plants?
Not who are considered industry plants, but all of them have been accused of being an industry plant. And they are all the supposed successors to the millennial pop stars who are like, I guess you would list like Katy Perry, Ariana Grande, Taylor Swift, Rihanna. There was Lady Gaga. I mean, in my eyes, no one can compare to those women. But Did
you see the thing? It was like Katy Perry was asked like an opinion on Lady Gaga recently.
What'd she say?
I don't even remember what it was about. And somebody said, "Why is 2009 talking to 2008 when it's 2025?"
Well, the funny thing is that even back then, people accused Lady Gaga of being an industry plant who was copying Madonna. And they accused Britney Spears of copying Janet Jackson. And the list could go on. But here was the list I came up with of Gen Z. So Billie Eilish being the first and most popular of them all. And she also got famous much younger than the rest of these. Sabrina Carpenter is kind of top dog right now in terms of Gen Z pop singers. Opened for Taylor Swift, and then she was everywhere. Olivia Rodrigo, similarly off of the Disney conveyor belt. Chappell Roan definitely popped up out of nowhere. We were kind of struck by the amount of headlines that we saw, the amount of tweets that we saw. She even had an ad deal like with Google where they suggested her as your favorite artist's favorite artist at the time. Renee Rapp was on this list. She's more of a stage actor, like a Broadway person, but she's definitely an industry plant. Madison Beer doesn't feel like an industry plant because she's been striving for so long to break that glass ceiling and hasn't really made it. Gracie Abrams, that's a Nepo baby. That's J.J. Abrams' daughter who's trying to launch a pop career right now.
Can a Nepo baby be an industry plant?
That doesn't make sense to me. Because at least there's a precedent. If you're a Nepo baby, the precedent is that you're related to someone who gave you connections. Zara Larsson. Have you heard of Zara Larsson? Well, didn't she make that really annoying song that you hated about Barbie?
No.
Who was that?
No, that was
That was another really annoying one.
I forget. Ava
Max. Yeah, Ava Max has been around longer.
I hate that song.
Yeah.
Everyone with good taste hates that song.
Dove Cameron, another former Disney kid trying to launch a pop career. It's not working
she
out
also
for her.
acted, and she played Patrick Jane's daughter on The Mentalist for an episode in like 2013 or something, or 2012.
And then a lot of people have been talking about Tyla.
I like.
What's her deal?
Yeah.
She's being seen as like the successor to Rihanna, basically.
There's a bunch of artists that whenever they play them, I'm like, who?
Yeah, I haven't listened to a single song by Tyla. I have no idea. Oh yeah, like Jenny or Lisa. All of these K-pop girls. But yeah, Tate McCrae seems to be getting a very special level of attention in the media right now. She was just on SNL with Shane Gillis and allegedly broke what is called the SNL curse, which I believe Lana Del Rey had. She fell victim to the SNL curse. Ashley Simpson, very infamously fell victim to the SNL curse.
Like, that is one of those things that it's proof that if you just get up every day and put one foot in front of the other, you'll be okay.
Yeah.
After that, like,
is it recoverable?
I mean, honestly, I feel like if that had happened today, she would have been better off. There's so much stuff that comes out today that it would have been forgotten in like a week. But it happened at a time where news didn't move quite as fast as it does now, and it became very if you don't know what we're talking about, the lip syncing performance,
right?
Very bad.
I think that it's actually because of the fact that the news cycle and social media cycle is so fast that you have to have an entire machine behind you to promote you.
Yeah, you can't do it all yourself.
And that's what Tate McCrae seems to have currently. She's in all of these headlines, all of these interviews on every last podcast and every last fashion magazine and every publication. And some people say she's deserving of the success she's found because she's not just good at singing, but she's proof that you ought to be multi-talented and you ought to be a dancer.
I mean, that used to be true.
Like
anyways.
Britney Spears.
That was true of a lot of pop artists. Like, a lot of them are multi-instrumental and have a good sense of music, but to make pop music, it ends up getting distilled down to kind of the fast food of music. It's poppy, it's catchy, it's easy to consume, but most of the time they come from deeper background than just somebody who only makes pop music.
The idea is that all of these people are going to get replaced by AI in no time anyway, but I don't believe that because it's really important to people to feel personally connected. Yeah,
like, I mean, we may be talking a different story way down the line when we're so many generations through that, you know, those few people now that the ones that follow the AI influencers, but that's done out of novelty now. Maybe there'll be a day where all people follow is that, but I don't think so.
But the Taylor Swift fan base, it's really important to them that she is a real person and that all of the songs are about her real life.
That's even worse. That means that everything will get even more generic. If that prophecy was to be foretold and true, everything would be even more generic. But I mean, most of the pop singers aren't performing their own music anyways. It was written for them.
I want to show this video of Tate McCrae from her recent music video. It's from like behind the scenes. A lot of people thought this was edited, but she actually is like kind of an acrobat.
Nice.
I thought it was reversed when I watched it.
That's what other people were saying too, that they thought it was the clip was reversed.
Now, Tate McCrae has been accused of being an industry plant for over a year at this point, and I found her response to that allegation from 2023.
Okay.
The discourse hitting its peak. Is she the new mother? Must we stan? Could she be the next main pop girly? She says, my true fans know I danced, but it was finally for the first time, like, is she an industry plant? I'm like, I've been grinding since 13 years old. I'm probably the furthest thing from an industry plant for how long I've been doing this.
Look, this ends up being true of actors that suddenly finally hit it big one day.
Like Pedro Pascal.
Well, I mean, but there's a ton of examples, right? Like, I was watching an interview with Stephen Amell talking about like all the years it took to get to where he got to. And he talked about Giancarlo Esposito, who it took years and years and years, but finally he gets Gus.
Yeah.
And finally he gets the recognition he deserves. It's not like
Giancarlo Esposito is an industry plant,
he didn't wake up one day and do Breaking Bad. He had many, many years of roles before that, and then just finally found the one that, opened him up to a wide audience.
Right. We have a 20 from Vodka J Bulls. I'm 38 and out of touch. I don't know who these new era singers are at all. I've been stuck in the gongo for years. Love you, Optical Overlord and Ghost Girl. Put a gongo on. Maybe one day.
Like, if you're going to travel to the gongo, make sure you check with the government beforehand to make sure that we're not in a period of crisis, because it can be dangerous to travel to the gongo alone.
Yeah, I think that
Put a gongo on.
maybe we'll zoom from the gongo into the show.
Are there warlords in the gongo?
Thank you. Do we have our crisis meter working again, by the way?
It is.
Good news. Here were some tweets about that, though. People calling Tate McCrae an industry plant is crazy to me because she's actually been making music for a while now. It's crazy how artists who've been making music for so long finally get a hit and suddenly the industry plant accusations come flying.
Yeah,
I would be so mad.
It's going to happen every time.
It's the right place and the right time and the right fan base as
It
well.
is funnier if there's an example where literally one day, like, there's a song that's everywhere, and then their social media page, it's like it was created. It still has the new up top.
Yeah.
Like, that's
I
not
don't
how it
know.
works.
I've listened to a few of her songs, and it's just not good. I don't like Tate McCrae's music. I just think she has charisma, and that's why it's catching some right.
And a lot of people look at it where they're like, look, she's a callback to attractive pop stars of old.
Right.
In an age of Billie Eilish's.
Oh, I forgot to mention Addison Rae, of course, who's also part of that next generation. Tate McCrae recently praised her gay fan base and almost gives them credit for her success. They're my favorite. No one beats them. No one is better than them. My whole team is gay. That's the only opinion I really want when I'm releasing music. I feel lucky that I have their opinion. We want to do the most and push the boundaries, but it's also the most brutally honest advice.
Yeah.
That is for sure. They're really mean.
Yeah.
I have tapped into Pop Stan Twitter, and these are some of the most rotten, insulated people on the planet, and they have terms like Kia Asylum. I don't even know what they're saying half the time.
Yeah.
Tate McCrae allegedly just broke out of the Kia Asylum, which is where pop stars go to die, or they go to never reach a certain level of success. Yeah. So Katy Perry is in the Kia Asylum
because
Tate McCrae just escaped the Kia Asylum.
I guess Katy Perry is there because she liked Rick Caruso.
No, she's not. It's actually just
and
when your music career falls off for good.
And
you're gone.
And she made a new album that wasn't the right type of feminism for 2025.
You know, I'm really offended that Tate McCrae is not from the Gongo. She is from Canada. She is Canadian. She's a frostback.
She'd have been better off being from the Gongo.
Yeah.
When every day isn't guaranteed to you like it is here in the West, you appreciate life a little bit more. You work a little bit harder.
She has a compelling girl next door look. Here, let me send you this. You can pull up these photos. She doesn't look as fake as you would expect a pop star to look in 2025. They say, can't fully explain it, but Tate McCrae is the stereotypical hot girl at every Canadian high school. White with long, straight blonde hair, plain looking, puck bunny. I never even heard that term
Hockey,
before.
Can
you explain this to me as a hockey player?
A puck bunny would be, they have a type. They have a type, and that type is men that play hockey.
This is a groupie, for hockey players?
Like badge bunny for cops.
That is crazy.
Yep.
Teenage boys from Calgary to Halifax go feral for this, they say.
Yeah, but the problem is her audience isn't supposed to be teenage boys.
It's supposed to be gay boys and girls.
Yep.
So maybe it's not hitting the right way.
Yeah, there is a lack of work on her face that's kind of endearing.
Yeah, she just looks, I assumed she looked like a girl from New Jersey. She just looks like a girl that you knew from high school from New Jersey. And I found that endearing. I personally don't really care whether she's an industry plant, and I don't think anyone else should, because if you're just now catching on to the fact that pop stars and actors, actresses alike are planted at a very chosen, calculated time and place for their own specific purposes, then I don't know what to tell you. Like, if you didn't realize that before, now is the time to realize this has been going on for decades.
Yeah.
Britney Spears was an industry plant just as much as Madonna was an industry plant, just as much as David Bowie was an industry plant, just as much as
nobody succeeds.
Any of them.
Nobody succeeds without the backing of the corporate entities.
Exactly, which is why they don't come up as independent artists, even when they brand themselves as such. So this is the way that industry has worked since forever. So in my view, they're all industry plants.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.